Welcome to 2.7 Homework Help with Ms. Bailey. Coming at you from our classroom. In France. No, just our classroom. Okay, anyways. Here it is. Ba-bam. So the first 8, find 3 numbers that are between the two given numbers. Okay. So, if you're good with fractions, you can leave them as fractions. You can turn them into improper fractions. Or what your book does, because I looked, and it turns them into decimals. So this, as a decimal, oh, hold on. There we go. 5 3/4 as a decimal is 5. And then what is 3/4 of a decimal? As a decimal. 3/4 as a decimal, yeah. Then 5. That's like you have 3 out of 4 quarters. So 3/4 is 75 cents, so 5.75. All right, and then 6 1/3 as a decimal is 6. 1/3 as a decimal is just 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, repeating forever, never, 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 never. Okay, so then you just have to write 3 numbers that are between them. I mean, you have a lot of options here. An obvious one, well, for me, is 6. 6 is between these. 6.1 is between these. And we'll go back here. 11. 5.8 are between those. There are multiple things you could write here. 5.76 is between this and this. 6.32 are between these. Okay, there are lots of options. I don't know. These are kind of fun now that I'm doing them. -2 1/4 or -2 1/4. So that, once again, if you're comfortable with fractions, you can leave them as fractions. The book changes them to decimals, and I think that's easier for me, so I'm going to do that. So -2 1/4 as a decimal, which is also called a quarter, is 25. So -2.25 and -1 1/2, so 1.5 or 1.50, whatever makes you happy. All right, so something between those. Well, -2 is between those. -2.1 are between those. And -1.75. So, I mean, it has to be greater than this number, but less than this number. Let's do, okay, this one, yeah, change to a decimal. So 4 and the square root of 23, which is not a perfect square. So you're going to get a decimal. 4 point, I don't know, 4 point something. 4 point, no, I'm going to have to look. Hold on. Google square root of 23. 4.795. Okay, we're going to put 4.79. So this is 4.79. Oh, ish. 4.79. All right. So between 4 and 4.79. All right, that's a smaller window, but 3 numbers that are in between those. 4.2. Little dot on my screen. Did I put a period there? Okay, I did. 4.2. 4.5 and 4.6. Once again, as long as it's larger than 4 but less than 4.79, you're good. So I'm cool with you looking up on Google like I did, or using a calculator, because these are not perfect squares. So 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, so this is good. They're both going to be 3 point something. So it's probably going to be a pretty small window on this one. Okay, these you can actually do. So the square root of 1/4. So when you're taking the square root of a fraction, you just take the square root of the top, which is called the numerator, and you can take the square root of the bottom, which is called the denominator. Your numerator, your denominator. Your numerator, your denominator. Okay, your numerator, your denominator. All right, so the square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 4, what number times itself is 4? Is 2. So that changes to 1/2. This one, the square root of 4, we already did that. What number times itself is 4? It's 2. What number times itself is 9? 3. All right. So between 1/2 and 2/3. Once again, if fractions, you don't like them, you can change that to 1/2 is 0.5. 2/3 is 0.6777777. I'm pretty sure it repeats. Maybe, let me double check. Let's just do 2/3. Yeah, okay. Oh, the 6th repeats. Okay. So it's my bad. 0.666666666. Oh, that makes sense, because 1/3 is 0.333 forever. So 2/3 is 0.6 forever. All right, good. So between 0.5 and 0.66. Okay, so small window. You have to be between 0.5 and 0.66. So you can have 0.52. That's between, because it's greater than 1/2, but it's less than 0.6. You could have 0.57, or okay, 58. You could have 0.6 if you wanted to. If you wanted to go a little crazy, because that's close to 0.6666666, but it's still less, because this is actually 0.60. There we go. Okay, so those are 3 examples of numbers between. All right, moving on. That was kind of fun. Factoring quadratics. Okay, so this is what we were doing in class today. So, I think we already did number 9. There are so many of them. Let's do 18. So, remember, you're looking for 2 factors. This is going to be x. Well, actually, let's think about this. It's going to multiply together to get a negative number. Remember, your 2 numbers, your 2 factors, have to multiply together to get c. Multiply to c. And they have to add up to b. All right? Multiply to c, add up to b. All right. So, it's going to be a negative number. So to get a negative number, you have to multiply a positive by a negative. You have to. If you multiply 2 positive numbers together, that's never going to be negative. If you multiply 2 negative numbers together, that's never going to be negative. It has to be a positive and a negative. So we're going to have x plus something and x minus something. Okay. So there are kind of a lot of these to do. Start here. I just realized that I'm hungry, but it's okay. I have a banana. What 2 numbers can you multiply together to get negative 24? You can just think of factors of 24 and then make one of them negative. So, I don't know, 12 and 2, and then one of them has to be negative. We'll make 2 negative. 12 times negative 2 is negative 24. Do they add up to negative 5? 12 minus 2 is 10. Oh. No. So it's not 12 and negative 2. Let's try 6 and negative 4. 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. Do they add up to negative 5? 6 minus 4 is 2. No. Okay. So then you have 6 and 4, 8. There it is, 8 and 3. Make one of them negative. Negative 8 times 3 is negative 24. Okay. And then negative 8 plus 3 is in fact negative 5. So there is your answer. X plus 3, x minus 8. All right. So you just have to keep trying factors of C until you find factors that add up to this middle number. So let's do another one. I need to get rid of that. Let's do 24. No, yes, 24. So, okay. I need numbers that are going to multiply together to get 51 and that add up to negative 20. 51. Well, it's divisible by 3. I can't think of factors of 51. I mean, there's 1 in 51. 3 times... I don't know. Hold on. I'm going to do it. 1, 3, 2. Oh, it is 17. That was my guess, but I don't want to say it. So 3 and 17. 3 times 17 is 51. Ooh, but it's negative 20. How are we going to make this work? Because 3 plus 17 is positive 20. How do we make it equal to negative 20? But it still has to multiply to positive 51, but they have to add up to negative 20. Make them both negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. Negative 3 plus negative 17 is in fact negative 20. Oops. X minus 3 times x minus 17. All right. I just had a song pop into my head. I won't sing it out loud because I'm not a good singer. I don't know. Okay, we'll have to do either 21 or 26. Okay, 21. X squared minus 25. Ooh, we didn't do these in class. That's very tricky. No, we didn't do these in class. Okay. Well, that's okay. I have faith in you. I mean, obviously I'm going to do this one, but I have faith that you can figure it out. So, there is no B term. There's no term with an X. That means this is x squared plus 0x minus 25. There's no B term, which means it's 0. Okay? So numbers that multiply together to get negative 25 and that add up to 0. Right? So it's x minus something times x plus something. And you know that because C is negative, so you know one of them is going to be negative and one of them is going to be positive. Yeah. All right, so what two numbers can you multiply together to get 25? Well, there's 25 and 1. One of them has to be negative, so negative 25 times 1 is negative 25. But do those add up to 0? No, they don't. We are looking for 5 and negative 5. 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. Hold on. There we go. And then 5 plus negative 5 is 0. So this is minus 5 and plus 5. Ho ho. And see, if you were to multiply this out, you would do FOIL, which is our two-part distribution. So start with the x. X times x gives you x squared. I'll write it down here. I'll delete it after. X times 5, 5x. So we're done with the x, and then you have negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And then negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. Then combine your like terms. X squared stays how it is. 5x minus 5x is 0. So you're just left with x squared minus 25. Okay, so if there's no b term, that means it's 0. So similar with 26, there's no b term, so then it is 0. So same thing, same idea that we did with 21. All right, I'll do one more. Let me look. I don't know. Do 28. So 28. You are looking for two factors that multiply together to get negative 45 and add up to 12. Okay. So just looking at it, they have to multiply together to get a negative number. So one is going to be negative, the other one is going to be positive. So x minus something, x plus something. All right, 45, factors of 45. The first one I think of as 9 and 5, and one of them has to be negative. 9 times negative 5 is negative 45. 9 plus negative 5, which is just 9 minus 5, is 4. Oh, just not it. Bad. There's also the opposite. So we could do 9. So you did 9, negative 9 and 5. So you could do negative 5 and 9. It's not going to be it either. Three times something. I can't do mental math right now. 3 times 15. Geez. 3 times 15. Okay. I don't know if you remember this. To figure out if something is divisible by 3, which is what I did with 51 as well, if you add the numbers together, 5 plus 1 is 6. And if you add them together and that number is divisible by 3, then that means the starting number is divisible by 3. So 5 plus 1 is 6. I can divide 6 by 3. Therefore, I can divide 51 by 3. So same idea with 45. 4 plus 5. So add these two numbers together. 4 plus 5 is 9. Can you divide 9 by 3 evenly? So that means you can divide 45 by 3 evenly. Let's go to 75. 75, 7 plus 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. Can I divide 12 by 3 evenly? So that means I can divide 75 by 3. Okay, end of my little side note. So one of these has to be negative. Negative 3 times 15 is negative 45. 15 minus 3 is in fact 12. So your answer is x minus 3 and x plus 15. All right. Moving on to the last part. Oh, there are 4 of them. Okay. Graph each parabola. So include the vertex and at least 3 accurate points on each side of the axis of symmetry. Then describe the transformations in words. Geez. Okay. So the first one is just f of x equals x squared. That's your normal parabola. I'm not going to graph that one for you. Okay, let me draw my little lines in. Well, let's see. Number 32 kind of throws it all together. I'll do number 32. put my y-axis in here. And then I'm looking here at this negative sign. That means my parabola is going to be flipped. So we're probably going to be dealing mostly in the negatives. Well, except for going up 4. I'll just put it here. There's my x-axis. Okay. So, start out by pulling out your vertex. Does it make you do that? Yeah, okay, include the vertex. Okay, so the vertex is the x value of your vertex is inside the parentheses with the x, and it's the opposite of what you see. So that means it is -1. And your y value of your vertex is whatever is being added or subtracted on. So it's just 4. All right, so my vertex is -1, 4. -1, boop, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so it's right here. Right there. Boom. There's my vertex. -1, 4. Okay. This negative sign means that it's facing down. So my parabola is going to go down. All right. I'm just going to pick points on either side of my vertex. So this is -1, x equals -1. So what about, here I'll make a little table. What about when x is 0? What would y be? I know that when it's -1. Oh, that should be the other way. Hold on. -1, 0. So when it's -1, it's 4. When it's 0, so you can just substitute 0 into your equation, which I will do down here so I have more room. Okay, so I have negative, substitute 0 in, 0 plus 1, quantity squared, plus 4. All right. Okay. 0 plus 1, I'll just do it, is 1. 1 squared plus 4. All right, 1 squared is just 1, but then don't forget about your little negative. So that's really -1. Oops. There we go, -1. 1 squared is 1, but then you have to add on your negative sign. Plus 4 equals 3. All right. Going back up. So it's 0 and 3. Zero, let me grab my pencil. So 0, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then it has to be symmetrical. So on the other side, it's also going to be 3. If you want to substitute -2 into your equation to check your work, you can. You probably should. But it has to be symmetrical. And then, so that is, oh, we'll just not go in order. There we go. -2. I'll put it in the right spot. -2 and 3. Okay. And then let's just keep going. So I did 0. So now I'm going to do when x equals 1, what is it? And you would substitute 1 into your equation. Will it let me delete this? Oh no. Okay, negative, and now I'm going to substitute in 1. So 1 plus 1 squared plus 4. So 1 plus 1 is 2 squared plus 4. 2 squared is 4, but then you have to add on your negative sign, so it's -4 plus 4, which equals 0. Okay, so 1 and 0. So x is 1. I'm going to grab my pencil. 1. Y is 0. Oh, so it's just right here. And then same idea as before. It'll be the same point over here because symmetry. There you go. And then you would connect them all with a line. It's not going to be straight, but I'll try. Okay, and it continues forever downwards. Whew, that was fun. All right, there you have it. Some of them you don't need to plug in points. I mean, you didn't need to for this one, but like for 31, since I'm looking at it, you're just going to move it to the right 2. So your normal parabola, which you graphed up here, which you will have graphed up here, you're just going to move it to the right 2. All right, so your y values are going to stay exactly the same. Your x values are just going to move to the right 2. So like the vertex, instead of being 0, 0 like it is for your normal one, your x values are going to move to the right 2. So it's going to be 2, 0. Okay, all of your points are just going to shift 2 to the right. Your y values will stay the same. All right. Okay. Cool beans. I think, no, I'll tell you this one too. So this one, x squared minus 3. So remember, play spot the difference. What's different? Oh, look, there's a negative 3 on this one. Okay? It's not in the parentheses with the x. That means it's affecting your y values. All right, so it's going to be the same shape. It's just moving down 3. So your vertex for this one would be your x stays the same. It's still 0. We're just moving down 3. All right. So your x values will all be the same. Your y values just all move down 3. Okay, now I'm done. All right. There's a quiz tomorrow. If you're watching this on Wednesday, there's a quiz tomorrow. If you're watching it later, then hopefully you did well on the quiz. All right. You just stop this. Goodbye. I love you all.